Good morning, gentlemen. My name is David Croma, and I'm privileged to speak with the head coach of SC Minneapolis.
Yeah, my name is David Oluwalano. Uh, I am the head coach of FC Minneapolis.
Okay,
Good morning.
and I'm also here with the captain of SC Minneapolis.
Yes, thank you, David Cromer. It's always a good, opportunity to speak with you. My name is Ian Sandy, and as you have already mentioned, I'm the team captain of FC Minneapolis.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We're gonna further go in with the interview. Coach, what's your nationality?
I'm a Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah,
What part of Nigeria are you from?
from Lagos, precisely. I was born and bred in Lagos. Yeah, but my parents are from Ondo State. Yeah, but I'm a Lagosian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captain, what's your nationality?
I am a Ugandan. I was born and raised in Kampala, in a small suburb called Lunguja, just a little bit on the outskirts of the capital city, which is Kampala. Yes.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, we're gonna continue the interview with some brief questions, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Can you guys give me, Coach, starting with you first before the captain? Can you give me like a brief rundown of the club history?
Um, uh, the club was founded about 8 9 years ago, and specifically, I joined the club in the summer of 2018. So, and we've participated in so many competitions, and then we currently play in the UPSL, and uh, yeah, basically.
Okay, Captain.
Yeah, like our head coach just said, I happen to be, I think the longest serving player right now. Me and Emmanuel Morris. Surprisingly, this morning, a friend of mine, sent me a story from 5 years ago, and I was seeing all the players we had on that team by that time, and it was only me and Morris who are still here 5 years later, and and it was just only me and Morris, who are still here today, and it reminds me of the different competitions, from the state level, all the way to being an independent club, and now coming, to our fourth season in the United Premier Soccer League. And yeah, so basically, that's a brief history.
Okay, thank you. So FC Minneapolis has been a club for a very long time in Minnesota, to say. How do you guys face the adversity that's been coming to the club a couple of years ago with players leaving and stuff like that? Coach?
Yeah, we've been open to all nationalities, and we have had a couple of players from every part of the world, from the United States, and from Africa, South America, and yeah, we are a diverse club, and we are open to receiving more players from any part of the world. So, yeah.
Captain?
I think going back to your question that, over the past few years, dealing with, some challenges, with some of, the players, losing some key players to rival teams. For me, as a teammate, that's always really very hard, because when you get to play with these players, you become family. You bond. They become like brothers, and sometimes you have a way you're playing together. So when you wake up in the morning and you realize that your brother has left, and not just left, but to a rival, a rival team. You wish them well, but it also comes with its own feelings. And most of the times, it creates that kind of a rivalry, because when you go to play with that team, I think it's, I don't know if it's just about me, but it always gives me something more to work towards. And that's why you see that every single time I have, been involved in a game where that team maybe was involved in a process of, recruiting one of our teammates prematurely, it always gives me more energy to fight out, because I feel like I am one of the players who stayed, then I have to fight for the team. But also, we have a great head coach, and I think his recruiting team has done a very great job, because every single time we have lost a player, when I look around, I see we have a player twice as good, to come and cover. I remember just, going over and speaking to him about our defense, because I was concerned. I saw almost 2-3 of our defenders were signing with a rival team at the beginning of the season, and I'm like, coach, how are we going to be able to deal with this season with this gap? And he mentioned to me that we are doing everything we can to find suitable replacements that are going to be able to do a better job, and he was right. Some of the defenders we have to this day are some of the best defenders I've ever played with. And this is not just about the defense, but in the midfield and in other positions of the field. So I think it's been a question of resilience and a question of continuously working hard, because these challenges are going to be faced with clubs at our level, whereby maybe a club doesn't have enough resources to convince a player to stay, and they are going to be offered a bigger deal, and they are going to have to want to move on. But it takes a lot of leadership from the coaches and the management just to make sure that when that happens, they have new resources coming in to strengthen the club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Coach, how has your journey been so far throughout this whole journey to Chicago, playing in the national finals?
Yeah, it's been it's been tough and fun at the same time, because we from the beginning of the season we've been through a lot. It was tough at first, but we made up our minds, and with the coaches, the captain, we worked hard, and then we decided to set the plan, and we worked towards it, and we've been able to achieve a lot this season, by just believing in ourselves and the players and in what we can offer. And even though it's been tough, but we've been able to achieve so much this season so far.
Thank you. Captain?
It's just been a very, very, emotional journey, and believe me, when I say that it's been a very emotional journey, because we began off with Hayward. I remember very vividly going into that game with a very young squad. By that time, most of our international players had not even arrived. And I wasn't so sure how the game is going to turn out, because I was literally one of the only senior players on the field going into that game. And we were losing 1-0 in the first half. But how we managed to come back and win 7-1, that was the beginning of this journey. And I saw this team get back on the dressing room. By that time, it was as cold as you can imagine, but the coach would take us back onto the field, because we had big games coming up, and those games were literally, they were literally very competitive. And we had, issues with players being delayed coming into the country because of COVID and all that. But then we had to face Vlora, an opponent whom we have always been very unlucky. You know, we played Vlora last year in the 4 Cup finals and we lost 3-3 on the PKs. Coming into the National Cup, you know, at a quarter-final level to verse them was scary, especially because the team was fairly new and we were not so sure if we are going to be able to compete. But, you know, with the guidance of our coaches, everybody showed up strong, you know, and we managed to beat Vlora. And you know what? I remember going on social media and looking through the tweets, you know, and just seeing people saying, oh, FC Minneapolis is going to play Bavarians and they are going to destroy the, you know, FC Minneapolis. Because literally everybody knows nobody had beat Bavarians. And I have so much respect when I mention that name, because they are a great organization. They are well established for years. Everybody gets nervous when you are traveling to Milwaukee or when Milwaukee is traveling to you. That's a fact. And we sat down together as a team and said, you know what, guys? Our life depends on this. Our coaches were working with us day and night. We had so much to fix. We were looking at Chicago. By that time, we did not even know we were coming to Chicago, but we knew we were going somewhere out of state. And that's what our eyes were on. The Bavarians came home. We beat them 3-0. And that was a moment when everyone's eye began to open and believe that actually this team, you know, was a championship, you know, a team, that we had what it took. It's been a very emotional journey for me as a team captain, because I have been a part of so many games of this team. And some games have gone so bad that you go home and you don't even want to talk to anybody. But coming out of this season, particularly in the run we've had in the regular league season and in the cup season, and looking how our performance, we have played so many games and only lost once this whole season. Just once. So coming into today's cup final and looking back at the success we have had, the memories we've had, the history we've created, it's a very humbling thing for me, you know, and I'm sure that this journey wouldn't have been possible without all the amazing teammates, you know, that we have, all the coaches, all the managers, all the people who support us on and off the field to create this journey to this particular day. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, that being said, we're going to wrap up the interview here. It was a pleasure meeting you guys and interviewing with you guys. If you guys have any last things that you want to mention before we leave, you guys could definitely say a thing or two before we leave. Coach, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I just want to appreciate our fans and our followers on, you know, all social media, and yeah, just want to say thank you to everybody.
Okay, Captain.
Yeah, sure. I want to first of all appreciate our fans as well. You know, football will be nothing without them. I want to, you know, appreciate everyone who has supported us to this day. I want to appreciate our media team, you know, for all the job that you guys do to put our story out there. You do such an amazing job for us. And I think the final thing I want to say, and this is not just for my teammates, but it's just for any other players out there who may, you know, find themselves watching this interview. The road of football is long, and sometimes there is no telling when it is going to end. But if you keep on walking, one day you are going to arrive. That's all I have to say.
Well, gentlemen, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
you, sir.
you. And that's a wrap.